Valentine's. Today I'm going to talk about social wellness. It has taken me a little bit to come and to bring this to you today. I tried for a couple days there, but I think at the end of the day, I really needed to integrate and figure out exactly what piece of social wellness it was that I needed to highlight. The last time I did this, I focused a lot more on the five love languages and the importance of physical contact. Because when I was doing it, it was in the summertime and it was right kind of really COVID heightened. COVID is still the same, it's not going away, and all those things are still important. And you can check out my live and I'll send you the link. But really realizing that it's a lot deeper right now. A lot of people are really being called to different things. And there's lots of shifts that are happening. So, I am going to start today, before I even go into the definition, with a card that I pulled this morning. It's incredibly fitting. I think I had a conversation last night that kind of really brought me back into the perspective of what it was that I have been working through and wanting to share in relation to this topic. And then I pulled this card this morning. So, bam, here we go. So the card that I pulled today on Valentine's Day is Conscious Connections. And I'm going to read it for you now. There's a call for more intimacy in our immediate relationships. There is an opening for heart-to-heart communication that can salvage and restore a broken relationship or friendship, if you are willing to honor your differences and look to what unites you. Sometimes it is hard to bear the differences between one another. One person may be willing to live life in high definition, whilst another may prefer to live it more vicariously until they have the confidence to step onto the center stage of their own life story. We are not here to judge each other, just to love, to be loved, and to let go of those that cannot accept us as we open up to those who can. This oracle brings guidance for you to trust in the sanctity of the connections in your life. If you've asked to experience a more sacred connection with people who truly get you and want to play life with you, rather than at odds with you or against you, then this oracle is confirmation that this manifestation is on its way to you now. It may or may not be obvious at first, but kindred spirits are going to enter your life to help you connect in your deeper feelings and creativity. They will give you wings to your inspirational ideas and big dreams. If you've been asking for healing in your current friendships or other immediate relationships, know that this can happen through your willingness to express your true feelings and allow the situation to either fall apart or come together, according to the greater workings of life. Sometimes webs that have joined people together are broken, and that is appropriate, as people may outgrow what once held them together. Sometimes the tie that binds us together are so strong that they are able to withstand a great deal of pressure and still remain intact. The webs of connection between us will sever or sustain based on the higher wisdom of life itself. Either way, healing happens in the resolution of our feelings, and we are once again able to feel free, forgive, and be ready to move on to the next stage of relating, either with a person who's been in connection with us for a time or with someone new. This oracle asks you to remain open to healing connections and to allow people to be close to you. Trust in the process that draws people in and out of your life. Resist nothing and seek wisdom in all. And then there's a healing process, which I will read in case you want to do it. With your hands on your heart, say out loud, I surrender all my relationships into unconditional love and ask the truly nurturing, soul-enriching, expansive and nurturing relationships be healed and drawn closer to my heart. I ask that the draining, depleting, destructive, or toxic relationships be drawn out of my life through unconditional love, mercy, grace, and by my own free will, so be it. Imagine that you can breathe golden light in through the front of your body and out through the back of your body. Repeat the process with a rich emerald green light. Don't worry if you can't feel or see the light. Just intend to work with the light and relax. Finally, visualize, perceive, or see a beautiful beating heart with luminous green and gold parrot wings on either side of it. Imagine, perceive, or feel that there are many other beautiful beating hearts with parrot wings of different colors, and they are all flying around together. Enjoy the playfulness of this vision, and in your own time, come back to the here and now. Feel the air on your skin. Notice the temperature of the room you are in and your feet on the floor. When you are ready, open your eyes and return to your day or evening. You've completed your healing process. This is it's really interesting because I feel like this is a lot of what is currently happening. I was just talking with one of the boys' girlfriends today as we were going to the store, and she was saying how she knows so many people going through divorces right now. Divorce rates, I've heard from a lot of other people, are super high rate ever since COVID has happened. And it seems to be that there's a lot of shaking and moving that's going on about where some people are stepping up to that change and other people are not. And anytime we make changes and shifts within ourselves, whether that be towards goals or just towards, health and wellness, oftentimes what it does is it does this whole shifting of relationships within our lives and within our world. And that can be a really tricky and painful thing. Especially when it's a whole bunch of leaving different relationships and there isn't a lot of new ones coming in to fill that void and to fill that gap. And with COVID, because it's a different world out there where there's less ways to interact and mingle with people. Oftentimes it is harder to meet new people and to fill in those new things. We don't have, community events going on. There's not classes really per se to join and to do. There's not lots of activities or parties or social events happening. And so it can feel like this huge gap and this huge void. I even know with, some of the young ones who are living with me right now, they've made some substantial changes in their life, and their biggest complaint is that they have left everything, and they've made all these positive choices for what? Because they don't know, they haven't made any new connections and new relationships, and for whatever reason, it really seems like a time. Currently, where people are being asked and called to take stock of these different relationships in their world, and whether or not they're positive and life-giving, or if they're, draining and taking away. So, yeah. I'm going to roll into the definition of social wellness on that note. So, social wellness is, my definition, the relationships we engage in and the ability of them to provide a sense of connection and belonging. And it also refers to how we give and receive support. So, why is social wellness important? Well, there's many different reasons, but, first off, it's for building and maintaining relationships. Everybody needs somebody to lean on, and that's, whether it be relationally, to call up a friend, to process different things, but also just even physically having, neighbors nearby or people that we can call and rely on when we need a helping hand, when, if there's different crises that are going on, or just to, step in when we're overwhelmed and we can't, do anything, or sometimes you just need a second person to hang a picture or a mirror or things like that. The other benefit with, where did I go? With social wellness is it helps to keep you accountable. So those different relationships in life, as we're making different kind of changes, you can have friends that are really able to help you keep accountable, or you can have relationships that kind of take you down and take away that accountability and keep you in that lower vibration. Another reason it's important is it allows us to share our life experiences and stories. Social media has given us a really good outlet online, but it is nothing like establishing deep, genuine connections with people that can last a lifetime when you're able to sit with someone, to hold space with them, to watch them be messy and angry and losing their shit, or on the floor blubbering in a mess, as I have had the experience of doing, and having people hold you and see you when you're shitty or when you make mistakes and when you royally made a mess of everything. Friends and having people around in that time to be able to share those experiences and to remind us that it's going to be okay are super important, and the history of it all. And then lastly, it's important because it helps us to get involved in our community. And this helps us grow as people and get to know others around us. And when we get to know others around us, we get to learn from them. We get to see different perspectives and able to look at things on, flip the coin and see things in a different light that maybe we were not able to before. And with that comes a lot of wisdom. I think of, talking to, elders and older people, right? They may be a lot different and not have the same lifestyles as me, but they have so much wisdom. When I even think about different clients that I've had in my life, I can't say that I've really had someone that I haven't learned something from. Some are harder learnings than others, but each and every one of them has been a wisdom that I've been able to, and growth experiences for myself. Here is, how can you improve our social wellness? Well, I'm not going to necessarily talk about that one because I think that there is a lot of different ways, but I actually think we aren't. Today, I don't necessarily want to talk more of an estate as the things that we need to do, other than to acknowledge that this is a time where a lot of people are looking at taking stock and taking inventory, and more just to encourage you that you're not alone. I've talked to a few different ones that are in a lot of transition right now, whether it's because of moving, so distance is brought up the change where they're suddenly they don't have the same support systems and the same networks that they did before, so they're learning to establish new ones, or even growing apart and distant from different people. I look at myself and my own reflection of pre-traveling to now. My social network and social circle looks incredibly different, and a lot of that is painful. A lot of it has been painful, but with it has also come a lot of real growth. I've also, when I look back and reflect, I've connected with friends that I had lost touch with for years and reconnected with them, and find that more so than ever, our life journeys are, kind of synchronistic and flowing together. And it's been really quite powerful. And these have been friends that aren't even here. They don't live in my same community. It's been more through, sending voice notes or WhatsApp or phone calls or text messages or photos or videos and different things like that. I did send out a PDF yesterday, all on social wellness, and if you get a chance, it would be a good one to check out. But the last thing, there's a few other things I wanted to just chat about here. The first is Signs of social wellness. So what does that look like? Well, it's the development of assertiveness skills, not passive or aggressive ones. With myself, one of the things that I've really been learning is learning my value and learning to put myself first. I tend to, in the past, I've realized is that when I bring people into my life, I actually welcome them wholeheartedly and actually put them on an equal playing field to myself, and I give them everything. It's like, here. And learning that I do not need to do that. That's kind of more of this passive way of doing it where I make myself small and I make them really large because I'm so, excited to have people around, and I am such a big people person. And I've been learning a lot more to assert myself and not get to a point where I have people crossing my boundaries and then I'm snapping or I'm manipulating them to get, what it is that I need, but learning to identify what it is that I need to begin with and then hold that line. Balancing social and personal time has been another huge one for me over the last 4 years. I don't think I've ever spent as much time alone as I have within this last little while, and yet socially I actually think my relationships are deeper and stronger than they've ever been before. The ability to be who you are in all situations. Well, last year was a big one for me. On my word for the year was authenticity. And it was really recognizing and realizing that the way in which I was raised was to present, one way to the public and put on that happy smiley face, and then other things behind closed doors. And I've really learned and have been learning to be more authentic and have the ability to really share and be consistent in all situations. Becoming engaged with other people in our community. A little bit trickier during COVID, but there is different ways, goes along with what I had said the other day about pro-sociality. Even just smiling and trying to strike up more small talk in interactions with people in the grocery store. I've been trying to do a lot more. Valuing diversity and treating others with respect. Pretty straightforward. Another sign of social wellness, continually being able to maintain and develop friendships and social networks. I see this with some people in my life where, and even past clients, where they have a hard time, like they constantly have new people or, and new changes in their world. And I even reflect on my own journey. I've traveled and I've moved around a lot. But when I reflect back, I actually, even despite all of my moving, I have friends that I've had for like 20 years. So just that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be in the same physical location, but it does has more to do with maintaining those relationships and connections that we do have. The next sign is the ability to create boundaries within relationship boundaries that encourage communication, trust, and conflict management. I'm working on that a lot. Remembering to have fun. Oh yeah, super important, especially if you can do a dance party. And then the last sign is having a supportive network of family and friends. So, just in closing, if you kind of want to check in with yourself, sorry, I think the battery light went on, but I will just restart that. So if the last point here is if you wanted to check in with yourself regarding social wellness, here are a couple questions that you can ask. Number 1, how are you at asking for help? Number 2, do you surround yourself with people who you can trust and care about you? Number 3, are you able to communicate clearly when dealing with conflict? Number 4, do you have at least one good friend you can count on? Number 5, how motivated are you to build community by getting involved with community organizations, clubs, etc.? And number 6, are you okay being alone? All right, well, that is social wellness for you today. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.